passionate.
So I'm so happy to have Virginia with us today. I'm going to give her the floor because I was floored when I heard her story. We were all touched when we heard her story, her journey with her family, her son being on the spectrum. And I just literally want to give you the floor and share why we're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Teresa. I loved hearing David's story. It's been a very, very long, tough journey, but has a very, very happy ending. He's 63 right now, but when he was little, he was a rocker, a spinner. He didn't make eye contact. He had no verbal communication in the beginning, although he acquired it, but he had auditory processing issues, both in a way of listening to others and understanding what they were saying to him, and then being able to share information back again. So he adapted many, many different, not too happy behaviors in order to communicate, like most of our guys do. We kept helping him over time. We set up a special school for David and all the Davids that we could reach. But as time went on, going even into adulthood, he still struggled. He didn't make eye contact. He had some pretty good communication skills. Um, and we kept working on that journey of helping him to have a healthier digestive system. We found a natural bioenergetics practitioner that helped to rewire some of those connections in his brain. And then about 8 years after that, which was literally about 13 years ago now, our very best friends had been at a pain clinic in Florida, and they learned about activation. They learned about protandum nerve 2, and they couldn't wait to get this to our attention because they had an intuitive sense that this was going to change David's life. We said, we'll try it first, and we did. And yes, we saw some basic changes in us. And then we said, okay, now's the time to start this with David. I would say that within about 2 months, my husband and I looked at each other and we said, he's different. He's changing. Look at his eye contact. Look at the different quality of communication. And that was just the beginning of this journey. So anytime LifeVantage had a new activator, nerve one for the mitochondria, because we know children in the spectrum are basically lacking glutathione and they're lacking good mitochondria as they're very young and as they're born. So at each time we added something new of the activators to David's regime, he changed still further. So he takes the nerve one, the nerve two, the NAD, he takes the probio, he takes the daily wellness, but he also takes the collagen. And he's had two surgeries, a prostate surgery and a hip replacement surgery. The collagen with the nerve 2 helped him to regain the healing, the mobility from that hip surgery. And I also believe it was a very big impact on the prostate surgery. Um, so he then has been married. I have to say that David was married to a young woman who she passed away, but she had a lot of neurological issues and she was legally blind. The thing that did for David was that it made him like everybody else because people could see his tenderness towards his wife. They were both on our products and they both changed all the time that they took the products. Axia was a wonderful godsend for them. It helped them with focus, with energy, with calmness. There was a time that David was meeting with his psychiatrist and he'd been on 3 heavy-duty drugs. He didn't like those drugs. He tried to go cold turkey off of them by himself. And we didn't know he was doing that. He got very sick. But after he started the products and then got to see his psychiatrist. His psychiatrist says, David, I haven't seen you this focused in 3 months. What are you doing differently? He said, looking straight in his eye, now that's big that he looked at this guy in his eye and said, that's because I'm taking Protandim and drinking Axio. So out of the mouths of babes, there's nobody setting them up, nobody's telling them what to do. Now, every time there's a LifeVantage presentation in this area where somebody's talking about the products, David and a friend of his call and say, I want to go. Now, yeah, they like the food, But even though they know, and they know this Saturday they're going to an event that there's not going to be any food there, they want to come because they understand it. They want to learn. They want to ask questions. So we have a whole new son. The other thing I would add to this for anybody listening is we've always been concerned over what was going to happen to David at the end of our lives. And when you're 87, you become quite concerned over the plan that you have for your kid. So our best friends knew that if we did this as consultants and as we earn money, because you can will this business down 3 generations, that we've now set up a special needs trust for David so that his sister will not bear the full burden of his special needs when we're not any longer here to do this. So that's what friends do for friends, guys.
Oh my
That's my story.
gosh. I'm so excited to hear this. You just heard it. This is what we do. This is what we have our hands on. This is what we're excited about. I'm so happy that we have the chance to be able to do this. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you.
You're welcome, Teresa.